the beginning, there was Resident Evil. Or at least that's what the shadow cabal of the gaming industry would let you believe. Before Resident Evil, but a bit afterwards, Alone in the Dark. No, not that one. Not that one. Come on, the one with the Stranger Danger mustache. Yes, that one. There was Clock Tower. The game that introduced the stalker horror subgenre, which would lead to classics like Amnesia and the shattering of countless eardrums across the globe. And Clock Tower is kinda ass. This thing didn't age well. Playing Clock Tower is like stepping into the ruins of an ancient temple, except the decor was done by Goofy and they expect me to be afraid of this red goblin that looks like an angry barber at best. It's a piece of history worth analyzing, but hardly a fun experience. But the director of Boys with Carole has only recently stepped out of his 30 years cryosleep and he's gonna make sure we all get to experience a brand new Clock Tower game. Oh, I'm sorry, it's called Chris Dorrill's Boys with Carole. Not gonna lie, if you're gonna put your name on the cover art, you better be delivering a groundbreaking game that redefines the medium. That, or you should be spending half the budget scanning your actor's feet.
I had to... They asked to scan my... underneath my feet.
But I was optimistic about this project. It looks nice, it's definitely different from most games, and Chris was also behind Remothered Tormented Fathers, a horror game I really enjoyed. And also... So with this premise, how's the game? Cute. It's cute. There's definitely heart behind both its plot and the art direction, and I was pretty invested in the story of Lana, a young, extremely British girl returning to the orphanage she was raised in, forced to face her dark and troubled past while being harassed by her peers and mistreated by her superiors. Wait, what's this Rule of Rose footage doing here? Huh. Well, at least they're not hiding their inspiration. Either that or they assume no one on this planet played Rule of Rose, which, you know, fair assumption. But Boys with Carole has an ace up its sleeve. You can turn into a bunny, which, hear me out, it's pretty funny. Although it doesn't really add with the fact that the game is low as molasses. Yeah, jokes are over, time to be serious now. Despite the stages being very small, realizing I had to go back because I forgot to grab a key item felt like dropping my cargo at the very end of a delivery in Death Stranding. Specifically, I wanted to strand my copy of the game out of the window. Progress is constantly hindered by cutscenes and dialogues or the narrator pompously describing events I can see with my own 5 eyes. If not that, it's this slow camera movement every single time you interact with something. Or this goddamn level where you have to separately send 2 characters through 2 sets of doors because we don't have the technology to teleport both of them. But the moment where I genuinely felt like the developers were taking the piss was when they decided to explain the concept of quick time events. Okay, hear me out, alright? Little kids want to murder people on Call of Duty, and they learn how to press buttons on a controller when chugging down Ebola potions on Fortnite. Your audience is young adults with disposable income and an equally disposable nostalgia for their childhood spent watching Disney movies not caring about the global recession. We know how cute it is, work, for Christ's sake! It sounds like I'm needlessly piling onto this game for no real good reason, especially when you consider that Boys with Carole tries its hardest to keep things fresh, but so many little things are constantly killing the pace of each and every level, and that's before we even get to the stalkers. Yeah. Remember how this video started with that Clock Tower segment? The thing with Clock Tower is that for such a prehistoric game, it understood the stalker system better than many modern games. You might be constantly hunted, but being spotted just meant you had to take a detour to reach your destination. You were rewarded for learning the layout of the building, and taking a different path could lead you to new key objects that would ultimately change the ending. Yeah, Clock Tower is actually pretty smart. But levels in Bites with Carole are small and one-sided, so when you're found, you're just forced to backtrack and wait in what looks like a Benny Hill chase sequence under anesthesia. Or you can channel your inner badassery and just ignore them.
Don't care. Don't care. Still don't care.
Lana might be unable to make a decent jump, but she can take a punch in the face like a pro. Except in sections where being spotted is an instant game over, and I like to call those segments the screw you, let me have fun, Jesus Christ, I hate these crap sections. And nothing beats getting through one of those, turning the console off, only to find out the game didn't autosave and now you gotta redo all that. So why didn't you just drop it? First of all, how dare you, sir? I finished 70 hours long RPGs I hated. You think I'm gonna drop a 6 hours game? And second, I still enjoyed it.
When things don't go the way we want, try to see them from another perspective.
It's a rare thing for a game to manage to express its passion and artistic value despite its many flaws. But Bites with Carole always had something. Sometimes it was its characters, and by that I just mean basic, cause come on, look at him, that's a real chud right there. I would kill for my Basie. Some levels would stand out, like the one with the whoopsie-doopsie time-loopsy mechanic, and overall I was intrigued by its story, so I told myself, you know what, be as it may, this game can still win me over if the ending is solid, and it was. It was Rule of Rose's ending, just set in the final stage of Clock Tower, but Rule of Rose had a good ending, and Clock Tower had the Clock Tower. It's unfortunate then that Bites with Carole does the complete opposite of what Silent Hill F did. Both games deal with feminist themes. Both games treat those concepts with care. But while Silent Hill F managed to incorporate its message into its dialogues, Bites with Carole just sits you down and gives you a lesson about women's rights, or a very out-of-place explanation of mob mentality and bullying. It's incredibly heavy-handed. Might spoil this, but at some point you have to bring another character back to her senses, and you do that by reciting names of popular female writers in history. I didn't even know this character could read. We literally met her 20 minutes ago. Have the characters express themselves instead of meticulously explain how they feel in the most uncanny and unrealistic way possible.
Hello?
No, Kojima, no, we're not talking about you. I had some big expectations for you, Bites with Carole, and I can't say you satisfied them all, but I respect you, and I'm curious to see what's coming next. Don't forget those basis feed scans.